Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Once again, this is Raju Upadhyay from CIMAGE College, Patna, Department of IT. Today, we are going to discuss yet another very interesting feature of advanced Excel that is called Vlookup. So in Vlookup, this is a function which searches for the first column of a range of cells and then returns a value from any cell on the same row of that given range. So let us see everything with an example. Assume that we are having a one business of flour. That means person who is dealing with the business of flour. So for that, they are maintaining a spreadsheet. And as everybody knows, the rate of the flour is keep on fluctuating on a daily basis. So it's very hard to remember the price of the basket for a given flour. Every day morning, the flour basket price is getting changed. So it's very difficult for the seller to know what exactly the price is. So they have to have a certain kind of certain search mechanism by which they will enter the name of the flour and that will return back the price of the basket for that entered flour. So for that, try to understand here. We are having a spreadsheet having only two columns. The first column, we are having a flour name where all flour names are being mentioned, which we are selling in our outlet. And in the second column, we are having a price of the basket for that given flour. So we will accomplish this task by using a very important function that is called Vlookup. So I'll let you know the syntax of this particular Vlookup. So here I'll be writing a formula in the price. That means we will enter the flour name at this column. Clear? And we will get the corresponding price of that flour in this column that is called E2. So on a E2, we are going to mention the function. So here I'm going to write it equal to Vlookup. Right. And this Vlookup is having total 5 parameters. Rather not 5, it's having a 4 parameters. So Vlookup. Now, the first parameter is a lookup value. So what basically the lookup values? As a lookup value, we can have a number, we can have a text string, or we can have the cell reference, which is to be searched in the first column of a range of cells. So here we are going to mention the lookup value which I am supposed to enter in the column D, row number 2. So my lookup value is going to be D2. So here I'll write D2, comma. Second, we are going to have the table array from which it is going to search for a value. So this is the cell reference or a range name of the entire range of data. So what I'll be doing is I'll be highlighting all data out here. So this is my table array where we have the flour name as well as their corresponding price. So this is the list. And then this is the second parameter. Then we are going to have third parameter. Third parameter is going to be the column index number. So it is a column from which the result is going to be displayed. So what exactly we want? We wanted to get the price of flour. So that is going to come under the column number 2, because the column number 1 is having flour name and the column number 2 is their corresponding price. So we wanted to find out the price of the basket for given flour. So obviously the column sequence number is going to be 2. So we will enter 2. And then after, we are going to mention last parameter. This is going to ask for approximate match or for exact match. So if you are going to have the approximate match, we can mention true. Or if you are going to look for exact match, so you can have false out here. So if you are going to look for an exact match, you can select this false and select this. And then we will close this bracket. And then we will we'll hit the enter key. Right now, we are not getting any result out here because we have not mentioned any flower name. Now what I wanted is, I wanted to get the price of a flower called any mall or alum or anything. So let's say this is a flower name called carnation. We wanted to see their corresponding price. So here what I'll do is, I'll write the flower name carnation. We'll enter the flower name as carnation. And the flower name as carnation. And the moment you hit the enter key, you are getting the corresponding value 87. So you can see, the moment you have written the carnation, what has happened? Your Vlookup function got in action. And what the Vlookup function did, so they are getting the value from the cell address D2. They are looking the value of cell address D2, that is called carnation, which we have entered into the table list. And once they have got the carnation out here on row number 14, from that, it is going to look for a value which is written in second column. So in the second column of that particular row, we are having value $87. So that $87, we are getting it out here. Now, if you wanted to have a multiple unit of that flower, so let's say you are going to buy 5 baskets of that flower. So you'll enter the 5 out here. Now you wanted to get the total shopping price. So simple formula, we will write equal to price multiply by your unit price. The moment you hit the enter key, you are going to get this total price, that is called $435. So this is the way by which you can find out, you can search for a flower name and you can find out their corresponding price. Now, I'll let you know a different way of using the Vlookup with the data validation. Now you can notice out here, every time you have to remember, you have to write down the name of a flower. So what I wanted is, I wanted to create a drop-down list over there. So instead of writing a flower name, we can choose the name of a flower from that particular list, and it will work accordingly. So what we will do, we'll create a list box out here. So how do I create a list box in Excel? This is a new concept. We will discuss now. So we'll select we wanted to get the list box here on D8. So I've activated this cell pointer, and then I went for data tab. And within a data tab, we are having a data validation. We'll go to the data validation, and within a data validation, we will select validation criteria. As a validation criteria, I'll select list. Now it is going to ask what is going to be the source. So obviously, my user wanted to enter any flower name. So flower name range is here. So I've selected from A2 till the end of the flower. That is called A70. So this is my range. So it has been done. And if I click on OK, so you can notice here we are having a list box containing all the flowers. So now we will select the flower name from here. Now we are not going to enter any more name of the flower. So now we have to find out the price. So obviously you wanted to get the corresponding price for selected flower name. So what you can do is, you can write a formula out here equal to Vlookup. So always we know the first parameter the lookup value. So lookup value we will select from this particular cell address, right? And then we have to write down the range, entire range of this particular table. So I'll select the data till B70. So this is my table range, or you can say table array. Then I'll be mentioning out here from which column you want to get the value of the given row. So obviously the second row having a price that I wanted to know. So I'll write that true, and then I wanted to have exact match. So I'll go for false and I'll hit the enter. Now see the magic out here. I'll go to the flower name. I'm not going to type any flower name out here. Instead, I'll click on this list and I'll select any flower of my choice. So there is no need to remember the flower name. So there is a flower tulip. I am selecting this tulip. Automatically, price got calculated. Now what I can do is, again, I can have a formula out here for unit. So here, I wanted to have 10 baskets of the tulip flower. So we wanted to get the total. So you select you write a formula, price, multiply by unit, and we get the result. Now, if you change the value of flower from the tulip to anything like sweet pea, the moment you change, automatically entire value is getting changed. If you wanted to change the price, you don't want to buy the 80 baskets. So what I can do is I can write here like only 10 basket I wanted to buy. So I'll write 10 and automatically their formula is getting done. So we have learned the simple VLOOKUP as well as VLOOKUP with data validation, where we have got the list box out here. So it is going to simplify my task. Now, you can have, as a table range, you can have the concept of defined range name. In the earlier video, I have discussed about how we can define the name for a range of value. So let's learn once again. I'll select this. Although I have already defined a range name for this, if you select this, so we are having a range name like list one. Now, if you wanted to have a different range name, I can select, I can remove it, and I can write like my list. So this is the name I have given for this particular range. Now, again, if you want, you can create a list box out here. So I'm going to repeat the same process what we did here. So I have selected this flower name. I've selected this particular cell address that is called D13, and I'll go for data. Within a data, I'll go for data validation, and from the data validation, I'll go for validation criteria, where I'll select the list, and here I'll be having this list range. Right. And after this, we are able to get all the list here. Now this is the turn to write a VLOOKUP function. So I'll be writing here equal to VLOOKUP. Now I'll open the bracket. We are going to get the lookup value from this D13. So I'll be selecting the D13. From there, I'll be taking the table range. Obviously, for the table range, we have given a name to that. So I've given a name as my list. So I've selected this my list. So the moment I've written a my list, it got referred to this entire table array. Now within this, I'm going to have the column index number, that is the column sequence number from where I want to get the value. So obviously the second column, from the second column, we have wanted to get the value. So I'll write 2. And we are going to have exact match. So for that, we are going to have false. So I need to select a flower from here. Any flower, like we are going to get the flower name as baby's birth. I select this, I'm getting the corresponding price. Here again, you want to mention the total unit of basket, and you can find out the total number like having a simple calculation. I'll select this and I'll multiply with 5. So I'll be writing the cell address of that and I'm getting the value. So just now we have learned VLOOKUP function, how this is going to help us to search a value from list of values and display it on the screen. So we have mentioned, we have discussed three different kind of VLOOKUP. The simple VLOOKUP where we have to type the name of a flower, and just after the typing the name of the flower, they are getting their corresponding price. Then we have learned the VLOOKUP with the data validation where I have discussed how we can define the range name. Oh, sorry. We have discussed how to create this kind of list box. And after creating a list box, it offers the flexibility to select any flower name from here, right? And we can use it in the VLOOKUP. And the third one, here in the VLOOKUP function, instead of writing a cell address, we have mentioned out there name of the, we have mentioned the range name. And then we are getting the data on the screen. So this is all for the day. So friends, we are going to meet tomorrow again with the new very interesting topic of advanced Excel. Maybe tomorrow I'll be talking about the HLOOKUP function of advanced Excel. Meanwhile, keep revising, keep computing, and keep practicing the concept which I have mentioned or which I have given to you. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.